Good morning. So, my name is Autumn, just as you all heard, and I will be presenting Flipping the Script on Sexual Assault. So, I want you guys to snap with me. On beat. Slower. Why my hair like an echo? So, the words are, let's stand up and start a new trend. And if you guys could, I would like you to sing with me. So, let's stand up and start a new trend. Let's stand up and start a new trend. A little bit slower, people. Let's stand up and start a new trend. Last time. Let's stand up and start a new trend. Thank you. So, I didn't realize how important it was to start a new trend until I was forced to make a choice, either to be a victim or a survivor. As you can see, standing on this stage, I've chose to survive. Since I've been speaking to you, already one person has been sexually assaulted. There is a struggle in our world with words. Clearly, yes and no are two different words with two different meanings. And I said no. And when I say no, that does not give you permission to infect my pride. I was sexually assaulted, but that does not make me a victim. And I shall say this again because I don't think you guys have heard me, because I was sexually assaulted and that does not make me a victim. If you have been sexually assaulted, that does not make you a victim. It happened on a day that seemed never ending because it was a long night. I was sitting in a car with 3 people. 2 I knew and trusted, and 1 whom I had just met that night. We had been in the car for hours, and night had hit, and we had stopped at a store. And my friend and my sister were the 2 people that I trusted and knew. They had went into the store while I sat in the car alone with this man who I did not know. So, I had met this man who started to conversate with his hands, and I was prying off, asking him politely whether he knew or acknowledged what he was doing. But I guess he discarded what I was saying. My friend and my sister now walks out of the store and they get back into the car. I didn't know if I should have made a scene because I think it would have disgusted me a little bit more if I figured out that this friend that I trusted would like his brother. I told my sister as soon as she got in the car, because I didn't know whether or not to make a scene, that this man was bothering me and that she should have got out. She stayed in the car, and she found what I said very entertaining. I know people who have endured the same crime. Maybe in different situations, but they have still endured the same crime. And I'm here to tell you today that if you are uncomfortable in any sign, in any situation, get out. Get out. And I keep saying this because people don't take sexual assault serious. People don't take it serious until after it's happened. At the first sign, you need to get out. This piece is called Old Stitches. Sexual assault is no means no. It's a 1 in 5 women and 1 in 16 men assaulted. Every 1 in 3 sexual assaults, the perpetrator was intoxicated. Sexual assault is a 63% not reported crime. I am living proof of this statistic. Every 96 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted. I would assume that's why 50% of our men and women in this world have their mouths stitched closed into silence. I would predict, because I am not like other women, my mouth is not stitched shut. Sexual assault was that moment of dry heaves, get off of me's, and push-offs. Sexual assault is something that is committed by bullies without morals. People who won't take no for an answer. People who love the feeling of rejection. Who are they? Maybe they were victims. Maybe victims who wanted to feel total, absolute control. Maybe these bullies love stitching people's mouths closed into silence. Maybe growing up, scary dolls were their favorite childhood toys and they're still childish. Physical aftershock takes place in the men and the women suffering from sexual assault. leaving these victims emotionally scarred and physically in pain. This explains the only 6 out of 1,000 that end up behind bars without dolls to play with. This explains the stitches people are forced to keep closed. And there are many dolls out here that have influenced me to fight and to conquer, to speak for these people who don't feel like they have their voices. I speak for those who can't speak for themselves. Maybe these crime committers, these perpetrators, these bullies damage these quote-unquote dolls, these men, these women, because they figured the most victims stay silent out of shame, fear, and embarrassment. But I refuse to be silent. My mouth is not stitched shut because I refuse to be a victim. Maybe sexual assault is a wake-up call to everyone who've ever felt like they've lost their voices being stitched up. Maybe you feel like you've been stitched up by these bullies because they have no morals. Sexual assault is a trend for the sick-minded. But maybe it should be a history lesson taught to the younger generation, because history does not always have to repeat itself. Sexual assault is a broken trend and a new beginning. It's a story that when told brings tears to people's eyes. Sexual assault when told is removing those stitches. I want you guys to snap with me again for this song. I left the words on the screen because I want you guys to join me. Slower. Removing all these old stitches. Not a victim of this crime. A survivor, I'm wishing this trend was broken. But till then I'll speak among those who can't even try. I'll be that voice that will speak up and hope someone will be mine. Let's remove all these stitches. Speak out for those afraid. We will never dolls and you will not fall. We will always be ourselves. Reborn, relentless and strong. So, I have a question for the audience. How many of you people know this woman, Reese Taylor? Raise your hand. So as we close Black History Month, I'd like to introduce Reese Taylor. Reese Taylor is an African-American woman who lived in the Jim Crow era. She was a sharecropper, and she was abducted and raped by 6 white men. She went to the NAACP, and she told her story. And she had some help along the way, letting her know that she was not alone. So I know you are probably wondering why I brought up this woman out of everybody, but I just want you to know that she spoke up. And just as I stand on this stage, I would love to speak up and to get it through your heads that you are never alone. I want you guys to know that you are not alone. This woman, Rosa Parks, was the lead investigator on her case. 11 years later, she decided to sit in the front of the bus. She made that choice. She gave her a helping hand. Reese Taylor's, her story touched many people. And her justice was, she got justice by speaking up. Her case was not, her case was something that was spoken to many but never understood until after she had grown old and the age was over. Like, after the Jim Crow's era, nobody really understood what went on through that era besides her because she lived it. And she had this woman, Rosa Parks, that was with her, giving her a helping hand the entire time. So I know you're wondering, how does her story compare to mine? Reese Taylor didn't get justice for her case. I didn't press charges out of fear. But her story has impacted people, just like I hope mine has somewhat made an impact on you guys today. I want you guys to know you are not alone. For the people who feel like they've never had a voice, you are not alone. You will never be alone. We live in a day and age where there are helping hands everywhere. There are centers. There are phone numbers that you can call about your problems. There are meetings that you can go to. You have helping hands. Just like people have reached out to me, there will be people that reach out to you if you speak up. All I'm asking that you do is speak up. You are not alone. You are not alone. And I'm going to keep saying this because I want you guys to know that you are never alone. You will always have a helping hand. To transition into this, I would like to talk about #MeToo. This is a platform that people use to get out about sexual assault. #MeToo movement spread in October of 2017 as a 2-word hashtag to demonstrate the widespread prevalence of sexual assault. People like Roy Moore and Harvey Weinstein. This is what the #MeToo meant. As you guys may know or may not, here's a fun fact. Roy Moore, he was the 28th and the 32nd Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in Alabama. Harvey Weinstein is an American filmmaker accused of sexually assaulting various numbers of women. And for this hashtag, various numbers of women and men use this. And whoever says it, I respect you. And forever, if you ever feel alone, if you ever feel like you need to tell your story, social media is your platform. Use this hashtag. As you can see, #MeToo is a silence breaker. And just as I use the hashtags through my poetry, there are people who use it through social media. If you feel like you don't have a voice, speak up now. Just as I said, there's a difference between yes and no. This woman is holding a sign saying whatever we wear, wherever we go, yes means yes and no means no. If you don't know the difference between yes and no, look it up. There is a difference. So when I say no, that is not permission to give you, that does not give you permission because what I'm wearing to do anything that you want. What I wear does not define me. Now I have a question. Raise your hand if you know of someone or you've been sexually assaulted. Look around the room. To close this off, I want to end with a chant. And I want you guys, if you can, just stand up for me. Stand up. I want you guys to chant with me for every victim, for every life lost, for everyone who's ever felt like they were alone. And I want you guys to chant with me for a better future. So when I say no more silence, I want you to yell, no more stitches. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. No more silence. No more silence. No more silence. No more silence. Thank you guys.